Islam and peace and blessing. I think I want to go into the science of religion tonight. Probably a couple other topics. I think I'm gonna start with the Bible because that's where it started at. Matter of fact, we can go to the Quran first. This is what Allah say in the Quran, right? He say he sent down 5 books for the civilization of mankind on earth. 5. The Book of Abraham, 1. The books of Moses, 2. The Psalms of David, 3. The Injil, the book of Jesus, that's 4. And the Quran, that's 5. So if you don't understand one, then common sense tell you go read the other ones. Now in the United States, their public schooling system teaches us, who went to the public schools, not to use common sense. That's basically what it teaches. And it teaches you to be robotic. They teach you this is the only way to figure this out, so anything over that ain't right, so don't think outside of that. It really teaches you to be a robot for real. But when you come out the robotic stage, let's walk through the Bible. And it's a long walk, so I'm not going to walk through the whole Bible with y'all. I ain't going to keep walking through everything with y'all now. There's 7 covenants in the Bible you have to walk through before you can go into the Quran. You have the Edenic covenant. You have the Adamic covenant. You have the Noahite covenant. You have the Abrahamic covenant. You have the Mosaic covenant. You have the Davidic covenant. You have the New covenant. Those are 7 covenants you have to walk through. And it's really just, you're walking through it right now for real. See, the way they split up science, religion, and politics, the divide and conquer, right? The serpent done used that since the Garden of Eden. Divide and conquer, that's the strategy. That's how you know the serpent when you see him. Because their strategy is always divide and conquer. It's never unity. Because they can't have that. Because they'd be exposed. So when you see the serpent, it's divide and conquer. Science, religion, and politics were separated. So you can never have a complete understanding. So let's walk through religion. Matter of fact, let's walk through, we're not going to start, let's walk through the Bible. Because Allah say the Torah is the law. So we're going to walk through the books of Moses. Now, in the books of Moses, it say, the Mosaic law governs the United States. That's what they're governed by. That's why I say Deuteronomy 19:15. The Moabites can never, it say forever, be members of the children of Israel. The 13 U.S. colonies, and I want y'all to go watch that video. The 13 U.S. colonies are the 13 children of Israel. The eagle, and the Bible says the eagle has always represented them and will represent them forever. I don't know why it's so hard to understand or none of that. And then the Jewish, the Jewish Holocaust was sad for everybody, but it wasn't what history taught us neither though. See, if you go through history, the Jews was kicked out of every European country in Europe several times, and some of them. Because if you go read the Talmud and the Mishnah, they were trying to set up the debtor creditor system in all European countries. The debtor creditor system that they use in the United States right now subdues whole governments. That's why the Jews were kicked out of all them countries. And that's why Hitler did what he did. It didn't have nothing to do with, I just want all people with blue eyes and all that. That don't even make no sense. It had to do with the debtor creditor system in the Mishnah and the Talmud. Go read them. And then you go back into the books of Moses. The books of Moses, even you got to have 2 witnesses to be convicted at least. Your debt is expunged after 7 years. Everything comes out of that. So I don't know how they say the separation of church and state in the United States, but all their laws is based on Mosaic law. I don't understand that. But all laws is based on Mosaic law, though. He was the lawgiver for real, for real. Even if you go into the Quran, all the laws in the Quran are the same as Mosaic laws. Don't eat pork, nothing's changed. They just use religion as a weapon for real, for real. And then even if you go into and then they make it to, well, okay, I'm a preacher, pastor, whatever label you want to put on. The separation of church and state is absolute in the United States. Okay, that's what the law said. But I have to go to a state school to get a license to teach religion. And then I had to register as a 501c3 with the state and report to the state. The state don't got to report to me, even though the separation of church and state is absolute. They don't have to report to me, but I got to report to them yearly, annually. That don't make no damn sense. That don't make no sense, though. Because you're really just teaching what the state tell you to teach, because it's like I said in another video, I've never been in a church to where a pastor walk his congregation from Genesis 1 to the end of Revelation without skipping all over the place. When he get to skipping all over the place, that means he does not have a complete understanding, so he shouldn't even be teaching the Bible. If you can't walk me through that whole book, that means you haven't even read the whole book front to back, first and foremost. So how you gonna walk it through me? And then you skipping all over the place. Hell, fuck no. Excuse my language. But that don't even make no damn sense. None. And the same with the Muslim brothers. They get to telling everybody, when the Quran say we, Allah speaking to himself in plural as, listen, knock it off. If Allah is one, everything is one. You cannot teach that and that. That don't even make no sense. That means you don't have a complete understanding. So if he say he's sitting down 5 books, you don't understand what this is saying, go read the other books he said he sent down. That's how you get your complete understanding. When it says we in the great Quran of Muhammad, it's talking about Elohim. That's who we is. That's who created everything that ever was, is, and ever more to be. The only thing the book says Allah made was you, a living soul, on the 7th day. It's 7 days in the creation, not 6. And there's no rabbi, there's no imam, there's no cardinal that can object to that. And then let's go into that too also, right? They talk about anti-Semitism. Let me tell y'all what anti-Semitism is, right? Because they stressing it illegally for real, because the original indigenous people of the Holy Lands was the Amorites, the Hittites, the Moabites, the Canaanites, the Hamathites, the Jebusites. Read the book of Judges. The children of Israel ran into there and chased everybody out of there. And the ones that didn't run up out of there, they enslaved. When you get to talking about anti-Semitism, you got to be talking about the descendants of the original inhabitants of the Holy Lands of Canaan. That's anti-Semitism. They done took it somewhere that's not anti-Semitism. You have to put another label on that, because the Semitic people are the indigenous people of the Holy Land of Canaan. That's who the Semitic people is. Now let's go into this throne of Peter thing that they done created out the clear blue sky. Now, if we go into the Bible, right, Jesus had 12 disciples. Okay. He didn't appoint none of his disciples a king. Period. He didn't make none of them a monarch. He ain't get none of them a throne. So you're telling me that someone sits on the throne of Peter, the man that denied Jesus 3 times. Make that make sense. Who gave Peter a throne to sit on, first and foremost? And this the same man that denied Jesus 3 times. Make that make sense. And I'm asking the Roman Catholics that. And that's just an honest question. Peace and blessings.